Hello everyone, thank you for joining me. I'm Kerry. Today I'll be showing you how to crochet a duck. I'll be crocheting it with the legs, but it can also be crocheted without legs for a swimming duck. When crocheted using 8-ply yarn and a 3mm hook, this large one, the size is 9 centimeters wide by 9.5 centimeters, or 3.5 inches wide by 3 3/4 inches. The medium duck, crocheted using 4-ply crochet cotton and a 1.5mm hook, is 5 centimeters wide by 6 centimeters, or 2 inches wide by 2 1/4 inches. The small duck, crocheted using 2-ply crochet cotton and a 1mm hook, is 4 centimeters wide by 4.5 centimeters, or 1.5 inches wide by 1 3/4 inches. I'll be using Catona cotton today, so the size will be slightly smaller than this large one. I'll tell you the size at the end of the video. I'll be using Catona cotton. I've got 106 Snow White and 189 Royal Orange. I've got a 2.5mm crochet hook, and I'll be using a 2.25mm hook for the neatening rows. I've got scissors, thread and a needle to stitch it together, and the black is to embroider on the eye, and I've got a darning needle to weave in the ends. Now we're going to start on the head, work the neck and the body, and then a neatening row. The tail will be worked through the neatening row. I've got my 106, the Snow White, and we start with a magic loop. There's lots of ways to make a magic loop, so make it how you feel most comfortable. I just put my hook on the yarn, bring the short end over the hook and then the long end over the short end to make a circle, yarn around the hook and bring my hook with the yarn at the end through the circle. For row 1 we start with 2 chain. That doesn't count as a stitch. And then we're going to work 12 double crochet into our circle. A double crochet is a treble using UK terms. For a double crochet we put the yarn around the hook, hook in through the circle and bring up a loop, yarn around the hook, take the hook with the yarn at the end through 2 loops, yarn around the hook, hook with the yarn at the end through 2 loops. We need 11 more double crochet into our circle. Now that's the 12 double crochet. Now we're going to pull our circle tight. So we take hold of this tail and just ease it in as tight as you can. And we're going to join with a slip stitch in the top of the first stitch. So not the chain, this first stitch here. You put your hook into the stitch, bring through a loop and take it straight through the loop on the hook. Now we're going to start on the neck. For row 2 we start with 1 chain and we'll work 3 single crochet into the stitch where we joined. A single crochet is a double crochet using UK terms. For a single crochet, put the hook in the stitch, bring through a loop, yarn around the hook and take the hook with the yarn at the end through the 2 loops. We need 2 more single crochet into that stitch. Next we'll work 1/2 double crochet into the next stitch. That's a half treble using UK terms. For a half double crochet, put the yarn around the hook, hook into the stitch and bring up a loop, yarn around the hook and take the hook with the yarn at the end through the 3 loops. Now we'll work 2 double crochet into the following stitch. That's a treble using UK terms, the same as we did for the head. So 2 double crochet into the following stitch. Now that's the neck part done. Now we're going to work 8 chain for the back. For row 3 we miss the first chain and we'll work 1 single crochet in each of the 7 remaining chain. And then just spin this head bit around and we're going to work 1 single crochet in each of the first 5 stitches along the neck. Now there's 1 stitch left, we work 2 single crochet into that last stitch. For row 4 we start with 1 chain and turn. We work 2 single crochet into the first stitch. And then work 1 single crochet into each of the next 11 stitches. We've got 2 stitches left. We work a joined single crochet over the last 2 stitches. So we put our hook into the next stitch and bring up a loop and hook into the last stitch and bring up a loop. We've got 3 loops on the hook. We put the yarn around the hook and take the hook with this yarn at the end through all the loops. For row 5 we start with 1 chain and turn. We work 1 single crochet into each of the first 13 stitches. There's 1 stitch left. We work 2 single crochet into that last stitch. For row 6 we start with 1 chain and turn. We work 2 single crochet into the first stitch, 1 single crochet into each of the next 12 stitches. We have 2 stitches left. We work a joined single crochet over the last 2 stitches. And our work is sloping in a bit at the back. For row 7 we start with 1 chain and turn and work 1 single crochet in each of the 15 stitches. For row 8 we start with 1 chain and turn. We work a joined single crochet over the first 2 stitches. One single crochet in each of the next 11 stitches. And a joined single crochet over the last 2 stitches. For row 9 we start with 1 chain and turn. We work a joined single crochet over the first 2 stitches. 1 single crochet in each of the next 9 stitches. And a joined single crochet over the last 2 stitches. For row 10 we start with 1 chain and turn. We'll work a joined single crochet over the first 3 stitches. So put your hook into the first stitch and bring up a loop, hook into the next stitch and bring up a loop, and hook into the following stitch and bring up a loop. There's 4 loops on the hook. Put the yarn around the hook and take the hook with the yarn at the end through all the loops. Then work 1 half double crochet in each of the next 2 stitches. 1 double crochet into the following stitch. That's a treble using UK terms. 1 half double crochet into each of the next 2 stitches. And a joined single crochet over the last 3 stitches. And that's the duck's head and body done, except for the neatening row. For the neatening row, we start with 1 chain, we don't turn, and I'm going to get my finer hook now. And we're going to work a slip stitch in each stitch up to the corner there. For a slip stitch, put the hook into the stitch. Just find a place close to the edge, bring through a loop and take it straight through the loop on the hook. So hook into a stitch, bring through a loop and take it straight through the loop on the hook. And we try not to pull too tight so our work stays flat. I'll slip stitch just into the corner if I can. Now for the tail, I work 3 chain. I work 1 single crochet in the second chain from the hook and 1 half double crochet into the last chain. Then miss 1 stitch along the back and slip stitch into the next stitch. Now we're going to work just a little bit of shaping on the back. We work 1 single crochet into the next stitch, 1 half double crochet into the following stitch and 1 single crochet into the next stitch, and then just work 1 slip stitch in each stitch around. Into the neck bit I'm going to work a bit further in to pull it in a bit, and around the head I'm going to work in this back loop only. So this is a front loop here and this is the back loop. So just in the back loop there. Now I'll continue working my neatening row off camera and I'll be back when I get just near the bottom there. Now I'm just at the bottom there, just before the beginning of the row, so I slip stitch in the 1 chain and then fasten off. And that's the duck's body and head done. Now for the wing, I'll still be using my white, but I'll change to my bigger hook again. And we start with 4 chain. For row 1, we work 1 single crochet in the second chain from the hook. 1 double crochet in the next chain, that's a treble using UK terms, and 1 single crochet into the last chain. The different stitches just gives it a curved edge. For row 2 we start with 1 chain and turn. We work 2 single crochet into the first stitch, 1 single crochet into the next stitch and 2 single crochet into the last stitch. For row 3 we start with 1 chain and turn and work 1 single crochet in each of the 5 stitches. For row 4 we start with 1 chain and turn. We work a joined single crochet over the first 2 stitches and 1 single crochet in each of the 3 remaining stitches. For row 5 we start with 1 chain and turn. We work a joined single crochet over the first 2 stitches and 1 single crochet in each of the last 2 stitches. For row 6 we start with 3 chain and turn, and we're going to work a joined double crochet over the 3 stitches. We put our hook, yarn around the hook, hook into the first stitch and bring up a loop, yarn around the hook and take the hook with the yarn at the end through 2 loops. Then yarn around the hook, hook into the next stitch and bring up a loop, yarn around the hook, hook with the yarn at the end through 2 loops. We've got 3 loops on the hook. We put the yarn around the hook, hook into the last stitch and bring up a loop, yarn around the hook and take the hook with the yarn at the end through 2 loops. We've got 4 loops on the hook. We put the yarn around the hook and take the hook with the yarn at the end through all the loops. For the neatening row we're not going to turn. We work 2 chain and slip stitch in the second chain from the hook. That's just going to give it a bit more of a point at the end. And now I'll change to my finer hook for the rest of the neatening row. And we're just going to work 1 slip stitch in each stitch around our work. So just the same as we did for the duck's body. So I'll continue around off camera till I get to just before the end. Now I'm just at the stitch before the end of the row. We're going to slip stitch in the loop at the top of the 2 chain we did, just in there, and fasten off. And that's the wing. Next we'll work the beak. I'll change hooks back to my 2.5 and I'll be using my 189, the royal orange. Now we're going to start at that part of the beak, the part near on the head. We work 3 chain For row 1 we miss the first chain and work 1 single crochet in each of the 2 remaining chain. It's a little bit fiddly. And for row 2 we start with 2 chain and we're going to work a joined half double crochet and double crochet over the 2 stitches. So we put the yarn around the hook, hook into the stitch and bring up a loop, and then yarn around the hook, hook into the last stitch and bring up a loop, and yarn around the hook and take the hook with the yarn at the end through 2 loops. It's a bit hard with so many loops on. And then put the yarn around the hook and take the hook with the yarn at the end through the rest of the loops. That just makes it bend up a little bit. and then we fasten off. And that's the beak. Now for the leg and foot, I've got my 189, the royal orange, and we make a magic loop. We're starting at the end of the web feet. We start with 3 chain. We work 1 slip stitch in the second chain from the hook, and 1 single crochet in the last chain, and then work 2 chain, slip stitch in the second chain from the hook, and then single crochet in the side of the last single crochet, so just in here, and then work 2 chain, work 1 slip stitch in the second chain from the hook, and then 1 single crochet in the side of the last single crochet, and then we're going to slip stitch in our circle, so just in here, and then pull the circle reasonably tight. Then we work 3 chain, that's for the leg part. Now we're going to join it to the bottom of the duck. I find about the center stitch, and I like to join 1 stitch back towards the back of the duck. So just slip stitch it through, and then spin it around and work 1 single crochet in the 3 chain, each of the 3 chain. Now you could leave off the leg if you want, and then slip stitch in the circle and fasten off. And the leg bends forward. So that's all my pieces worked. I'll weave in the ends and I'll be back and we'll put it together. Now there's the pieces. I've got the duck, the wing and the beak. The first thing I'll do is embroider the eye in that center circle there. I use a French knot and just stitch over it a few times to secure it. Next I'll add the beak. It goes just in there, and the wing goes in there. I don't stitch the end of the wing down. I leave probably the last 2 rows unstitched and just stitch across there and around. So I'll do that and I'll be back to show you the finished duck. There's the finished duck. The size is 6.5 centimetres wide by 7.5 centimetres, or 2.5 inches wide by 3 inches. If you've liked my video, please like, subscribe and share. I'm also on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest and Patreon. The details are in the description below, along with the details of my website where I have my patterns. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye.